Hi, I'm Joy, a PhD student from Nanjing, China, studying veterinary microbiology at KU Copenhagen. I have been in Denmark for 1.5 years now, and I'm loving it so far. No day is ever the same for me, but a typical day for me usually starts with a cup of coffee while I'm looking at my emails. It sometimes happens that I have morning meetings, but if that happens, then I just push my schedule back. Next step is bioinformatics works. Bioinformatics is a combination of biology and informatics. We use computer to look through and interpret large amounts of data related to DNA, RNA, or proteins, and so on. It helps us to understand how living things work. So I check this bioinformatics programming on my laptop. I have a cluster server that the university supply, so I can use it to analyze data on. All these different codes for biological analysis are very heavy, so the server helps us not to store it on our own computer. When I log in, I look at the results. It often hasn't finished so much and it's still running, so I just log in to check if it's still running properly. If I'm not satisfied with the results, then I just change the parameters and run it again. If it's good, I start the next step. After the bioinformatics works, I look at the recently published research papers. It could also be older documents that relate or could be important to my project. After that is my lunchtime. We have regular lab lunch meeting every Monday. It's a lunch with other lab users. We also have a PhD lunch every 2 weeks, which is like a meeting and a lunch thing. We talk about things related to PhD lives, and it's really fun. It's also a good way to bond with each other. After the lunch, I often spend some time in the lab. I usually first go check the culturing bacteria that I cultured the day before. If their quality lives up to my expectations, I save some good ones and move them to the next step. After that, I look at the task list for the day to see what kind of lab work I need to do. The lab work I do could involve phenotypic tests on specific bacteria, PCR and gel works, or gene knockoff, or just observing the bacteria through a microscope. These are some of the things I do during lab time, but it all depends on where and how far I'm in a project. I write down everything about my experiments in a notebook when I'm in the lab. Then, when I'm at my desk, I put the information into my computer. We have a university cloud drive that we can save this kind of data on. I always do this after I finish the lab work for the day. After I upload my notes to the drive, I sometimes have a meeting with my supervisor from America. Our meetings are always late in the day because there is a time zone difference. After the meeting, I usually review the bioinformatics results to see if any adjustments to the parameters are needed. I also check my emails again to see if there are any new messages. As the last thing, I make the plan for the next day, meetings, lab works, and so on. My time here at KU has been very great so far. I really enjoy it here. I came from a country with very different culture, so I feel it's very different for me. Here you can be very honest to your colleagues, and you can talk about things you think about very straightforward to your colleagues. So I feel more relaxed and safe here, and it also increases working efficiency. The most important thing I've learned here in Denmark is that it's okay to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, and no one blame on you. And what matters is that you learn from it.
Just do it again. This is the hardest clip of all of them.